Oh shit, we raid trial of the Grand Crusader for the first time in 10 minutes, and I haven't looked at any of the fights. Maybe I can quickly look something up while I load into the game. Okay, quick TOGC guide. Ooh, a hot Valkyrie. This is definitely the video for me.
Okay guys, as the silly little intro hinted at, this video is a no-frills, quick guide to get you ready for Phase 3 of Wrath of the Lich King. For the first fight, we have the Northrend Beasts. This is a 3-phase encounter where you fight different creatures with various abilities. In Phase 1, it's really simple. Tanks have it really easy here. All they need to do is tank swap when stacks of Impale reach 3 or 4. Pallies can also bubble off the stacks to make this easier as well. Ranged DPS are going to want to stand at range to avoid the staggering shout interrupt and the damage from it, move out of fire, and bring kobolds to the middle so you don't get pushed back or interrupted by them. Healers do all 3 of those things and then also add in big heals on tanks when they get big stacks. All in all, no major cooldown should be used here. In Phase 2, you have the 2 Worm Boys. One tank is on each of the worms, melee start on the acid one, healers and range spread out to avoid big AoE damage. Primarily melee, at least from our experiences, and possibly some range, will get the paralyzing debuff. They need to then turn to the person who has the Burning Bile debuff, which before burrow will be the first fire worm tank. If they don't, they become paralyzed and take increasing damage and likely will die. During the burrow phase, melee is better set on spreading out rather than focusing down the second worm. Stacking up can lead to high AoE damage from the breaths. Quickly identify if you get a breath and work towards people with the other one to quickly neutralize it. While it's better optimized to hero during Ice Howl Crash period, you can at the start of Phase 2 to burn down the worms quickly. This fight has the highest damage output and room for people to mess up. In Phase 3, it's kind of really easy. The tank's just going to tank Ice Howl facing away from the raid. Melee get their cardio in by chasing the boss down after the knockaways, both the small one and the big one. Healers and range should be spread out so a ton of people all don't get frozen. Healers can use cooldowns like D-Sax for the big knockaway, as it does a lot of damage. The biggest thing is hoping your players aren't completely brain dead and getting hit by charge, and then you burn the boss. Up next we got Lord Jaraxxus. He basically just summons a bunch of stuff that needs to be killed. Melee and the tanks are going to interrupt the fireball, kill the portals, succubus, volcanoes, and infernals as they spawn in, primarily the portals first as they will continually summon multiple mobs. Ranged and healers are going to spread out so lightning doesn't chain, and healers pump the tanks and people with burning flesh debuff. If you don't, it likely wipes the raid due to its pulsing damage. Oh, and kite out the Legion Flame, and ideally not through people. Up next we got Faction Champions. Hey, at least it's not another vehicle fight. This fight has some RNG or variance based on the people that you get stuck fighting, but your general strat should be as follows. Your best warrior is going to charge in an AoE fear on pull. This forces trinkets out of most if not all of the NPCs. The group then all focuses down one of the healers at a time while the others are CC'd. Classes like Druid who have unremovable CC and Cyclone can basically lock down a target for large chunks of time with no counterplay when the trinket is down. Kiting out melee targets are important as they can quickly chunk a target down. Healing this fight is frustrating. There will be no damage going out for 10 seconds and just a random burst on a couple random targets. Dispelling people and the enemy heroism or bloodlust off is critical and honestly the best healing move you can do. So Priest definitely mass dispel in a group of the enemy players or just focus on tab targeting and dispelling them. People need to use all the tools available to them. PvP trinket, Hellstone, personal CC, and defensives when you get targeted or CC'd by an enemy. Tanks are also useless on this fight, there is no aggro, have them go DPS. The next boss is the twin Val'kyrs. The twins are kinda dumb. They summon orbs that make them take more damage. The light buffs make you do more damage to the dark twin and vice versa. Have everyone start with a dark debuff and start burning down the light twin. You'll be standing near one of the light portals as you can then quickly change if you need to quickly DPS the dark roll to interrupt the cast or to avoid vortex damage. This fight basically comes down to interrupting the heal cast as you will have to break down the shield first, this is where being the opposite type is important, and avoid the damage from the light vortex by swapping to light. Whenever you swap to light, wait for the damage attacks to wane off and then swap right back to dark. On 25s, it's optimal to have a few people trying to soak the opposite color orbs to prevent major AoE damage from constantly hitting the raid. This can be 1 or 2 of your healers. The raid will also constantly be taking light surge damage while they are dark. This is similar to the AOI or Iron Council hard mode damage that constantly pulses, so big raid heals from your Disciplined Priest and your Resto Druid will help with this. And lastly, we got Anub'arak. This guy breaks the tournament grounds, so Tyrian Forging makes you go beat him up for repair costs. In Phase 1, the group will all be positioned behind the boss, killing the crit mobs and then burning the boss down. Immediately death grip down a patch of permafrost to put the mobs on, to prevent them from burrowing. Bring others down farther out in the room. They will be needed once the boss burrows. Once he does burrow, kill off any remaining mobs and kill the new bugs that used to be passive. Have the raid spread out and move away from the person that gets targeted with spikes. They will have to run to the patches of frost, which then get destroyed but stop the spikes. But they shouldn't rush on heroic mode. You only get so many patches, so utilize bops and immunities and speed buffs to delay this as long as you can. This cycle will repeat until you hit 30%, which basically makes this fight a DPS race. The boss will leech 10% of current HP from everyone every second, and then hit some people along with the tank pretty hard. The healers will need to accept that keeping non-targeted people's HP below 50% is optimal, as the boss will deal less damage to them, and also heal for less. Having people assigned to each group and then having your pallies bomb the tank and those who are targeted by the ability makes this fight go a lot smoother. Cooldowns like DZAC and such should be safe for this phase as well. Doing this all correctly should lead you having this boss dead. Alright, this covers pretty much everything pretty quickly. Let me know if you got any questions in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer anything you got. If you found this guide useful, please subscribe for more content. I'll have a healer guide out soon for optimizing some of these fights. Anyways, that's all I got for now, so take care, hope to see you soon.